I'm Darren with Akshon Esports, and welcome back to Akshon Recap, the show where we go over many of the events going on in the esports community. How would you feel if you were an Overwatch League player who was permanently on the bench and was unable to participate in scrims?
Let me just clarify something for you guys. I am a very fucking competitive person, okay? Sitting on the bench, and it would be different if I was scrimming and if I was actually if I had a chance to prove my worth and to be able to try and actually say, hey, you should play me, like put me in, you know? I've not scrimmed for a month. Like, it sucks dick. It's so fucking depressing.
What are your thoughts about keeping players on the bench? Is it better to have a well-trained starting lineup or distributing the experience throughout the team with subs, as seen with the Houston Outlaws and Dallas Fuel? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, moving on to the Shanghai Dragons. After a couple of weeks of play, it was evident that the Shanghai Dragons needed to do something drastic if they hoped to start climbing the rankings and make their disastrous debut a thing of the past. Per sources close to the players and an associated party, South Korean Overwatch player Geguri be the first woman to join the Overwatch League. In addition to Geguri, Element Mystic tank captain Fearless and MVP Space Flex Addo will also be joining the Dragons. According to the report from ESPN, who were the ones to publicly leak the news, the Dragons will also be signing an unnamed Chinese player as the final member of the team, to max out their roster at 12 players. 3 of the new Shanghai Dragons players will face the dreaded language barrier hurdle to overcome, as it is uncertain to what degree the Korean members are able to comprehend Mandarin. To help streamline their integration into the team, language lessons will be held. You may recall from a previous episode of Akshon Recap, we had actually mentioned that Geguri was on the radar of a certain Overwatch League team, but didn't want to burn bridges so early on in the scene for the sake of extra views. The Lunar New Year is coming up, and instead of talking about it like other YouTube channels, many of whom are speculating on every tidbit of info, we felt like doing something a bit different, as the update launches tomorrow and talking about it now doesn't really hold much value. Instead, we felt like showcasing some of the best highlights of Philadelphia Fusion's Russian DPS player Shadowburn from Stage 1 of the Overwatch League. For the full video, follow the link in the description box below, or stick around to the end of the video and you'll be able to click on it in the end screen. Before we move on to our next story, I wanted to give you guys a quick heads up. If you haven't already checked out the official Overwatch League channel, they've been cutting up some of the small features from Watchpoint and posting them on the channel in case you don't have time to watch the entire show. It's a shame that such a high quality show has such little views. As an example, here's a small clip of just some of the many things the production team at the Overwatch League have been working on.
比赛日的时候，我们会就是在早上会晚起一些，多休，大家都有充足的睡眠。
这个篮筐即将被你征服，你在干嘛？我操！
Speaking of the people at the Overwatch League, 4 new faces will be joining the on-air talent as hosts. Korean YouTuber, a streamer, and a caster, Himori, former professional team manager, caster, and host of Chinese Overwatch events, Chi Xiaotu. Malik Forte, who you may remember from his time as an esports journalist and handshake fail with Seagull. And lastly, Alex Goldenboy Mendez, who has years of experience working in esports events across various titles, such as host of the 2017 Overwatch World Cup. Malik and Goldenboy will join the current broadcast team as of week 5, while Chi Xiaotu and Himori will begin producing special content segments for fans in China and Korea. In terms of historic moments for esports, Canadian Starcraft 2 player Scarlett finally won her first major championship title by defeating legendary Korean Protoss player SOS in the finals of Intel Extreme Masters Pyeongchang, the lead-in event for the 2018 Korean Olympics. For our final story of the day, EVO 2018 announced its playable titles on the main stage, with Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, Tekken 7, Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, Super Smash Bros. Melee, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator 2, Injustice 2, and of course, Dragon Ball FighterZ will be the main games on the main stage. These 8 titles will be the primary games played at the tournament. Some fans of fighting games are also disappointed at the lack of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. But I'm personally very excited to see FighterZ on the big stage, as the scene for it is relatively still fresh and is still developing. Registration is currently open for the tournament, so we can expect to see a lot of fierce competition from some of the best fighting game players in the world. And I'm personally very excited to see who will be crowned the first champion of FighterZ. And with that, that's all for this installment of Akshon Recap. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe by clicking the Akshon icon. Or if you're interested in seeing other content, be sure to click on one of the videos. Otherwise, if you have something to say and want to join in on the conversation, join our Discord server. Links to that and everything else mentioned in the video are in the description box below. This has been Darren with Akshon Esports, and we'll see you in the next one.